welcome back to the channel. It has been a long time. I think it's been nearly 12 months. Last Father's Day took the tonner down to Lakeside. A lot of stuff's happened since then, including buying my new house, trying to get it set up, renovations, all this sort of stuff, trying to get ready to put the new shed in. I don't have a new shed yet, but I thought, you know what, it's boost weather, starting to get cool. I really need to get the tonner going again and get it back on the road so we can go and have some fun. And I thought, oh well, may as well make a bit of a video, get you all up to date and show you what I'm doing to the tonner today. What I'll do is I'll take you for a bit of a tour, I suppose, of my new place. Show the conditions in which I have to work in. I don't even know if I can call it Laddie's garage. I think I have to change it to like Laddie's carport or Laddie's granny flat or something like that. But you know, we've got to do what we've got to do. You know, may as well just get the job done. Don't whinge about it. And you know, I'm sure a lot of you guys out there don't have huge sheds and massive garages to work in. So you know, I'm here to show you that it doesn't matter where you are, what you're working on, you can get it done. So we'll get some work done and take the tonner back out, give it a couple of pulls, and yeah, try and make a bit of an episode for you. But yeah, as you can see, this is my house. It's on 4,000 square metres, the block, so plenty of room for a big shed. What I'll do is I'll take you around the back and show you what we're dealing with. Righto guys, here we are at the back. Show you around a bit. Just at the back of the house here. It's actually got a carport, double carport in behind the house. Tig and the nav live in there. Not ideal. When the shed goes in, both those vehicles, boat, will go inside the big shed. And then slightly behind that, granny flat. And what we'll do is we'll go for a walk up in there, because that's where all the work's actually happening. So I'll take you for a bit of a run up in there and we'll have a look. Alright, this is the granny flat, little 2-bedroom thing. There's definitely no one living in it. Here's the drag tonner in underneath the cover here. Plenty of surface rust. I actually feel sorry for it. Surface rust on the arse end. The SS under wraps. I'm going to have to leave this. We're not going to be doing any work to this until I've got my shed. There's a lot of fabrication. I want to put a 4-inch exhaust under there. I want to make all that, intercooler piping, all that sort of stuff. So I'm afraid that it's dormant. Nothing will be happening until the shed goes in for the SS. I could get it running and drive it around aspirated, but no deal. Down the side here, bit of a carport. You can see I've been busy in the yard just demolishing all the trees. There was a lot of trees here. But I'm not a big fan of trees and gardens. Don't want to spend too much time gardening, I want to spend time in the shed, so all the trees had to go. There's the old wreck, the old tonner wreck, if you remember. A lot of the parts out of that went into my tonner, the one I've got now, so I've still got that wreck. But yeah, a lot of trees gone, getting ready for the new shed. New shed will go where the existing old shed flat is. So all this will end up being demolished, but we'll go over there in a sec. We have this carport, this is the working bay. This is what we've got to deal with for carport. And then inside this flat, I've obviously started some renovations. All the kitchen and bathroom's been removed. It's work that I have to do. This is the main reasons why I haven't been able to put videos out, been busy with this sort of stuff. And this is where all my contents are stored. 1 bedroom, full of camping gear and motorbike gear and what have you. Tools everywhere. In the other bedroom, bulk Commodore parts. So I'm just making do with what I got until the shed's built out the back, and we can move it all over into there. So yeah, my workbench and stuff, it does the job, my toolbox. So I can always just drive the cars up into the carport here and just step inside, grab tools. And yeah, so what I'll do is I'll go over and show you what's going to be demolished. And you can probably tell there's a lot of tonners laying around. I've got Chris and Jamie here. That's Chris's new car, VESS L98 manual, 6 litre. That'll be on the channel more soon. Jamie ended up buying a daily drive black 1-tonner VY V6 to drive around in for his daily, but he didn't do that until obviously I bought one. I bought a V6 1-tonner daily driver. retired the turbo tonner. So poor old turbo girl, she's been sitting here for a while, a long while. It's got about an inch of dust on it. It's been hiding out here. So the job today is to pull this thing out, and before I fire it up, it's going to need a new battery. I'm going to clean out the fuel injectors. I'm going to show you how I do that, make this little jig up, and I have to pull the tray off, and I'm going to change out the Ryco fuel filter for our Aeroflow, like a removable element one. So yeah, poor old girl. Fair bit of gecko crap on it, a lot of dust. And I've actually got Jamie and Chris here today. They're both frothing that I'm getting the tonner out. We're going to do some car stuff, so they've both turned up today to give us a hand. I think Chris wants to polish me tonner for me, which is good. I don't want him to make it look too good because I love the patina. And Jamie's going to give me a hand with taking the tray off and doing the fuel pump stuff. So we're all pretty pumped to get the cars going again, and yeah, it should be good. We'll get it going. That's all good. Oh, the boys have been busy cleaning. Fucking good effort. Now Chris has moved on to his car. But hey, fuel system, I got a bit done. We had gurneys going, so I didn't really film it. But you can see here, this is the old fuel filter setup. And if you actually have a look, if it'll focus, the line has perished. Something fierce. Let's get the focus, come on. There you go, look at it. It's a bit of a worry. So, change it out for some black braided line. Use the standard fittings on the hat, just clamp them on, it seems alright. And then I'll put this Aeroflow stainless steel 60 micron fuel filter in there, a little bit better than the old Ryco setup to step it up a bit, and I can actually just clean that instead of having to replace it. So I've situated the filter so I can get it from the bottom next time, don't have to take the tray off. So that's all replaced, should be nice and clean, not blocked up. Because these E85 cars, I think if they sit, I don't know, people talk about it clogging your fuel filters and everything up, so best to be safe than sorry and clean it all out. Alright, moving on to the injectors. One thing the old tonner did do is blow the old K&N filter apart. I don't know if it's because of heat, it's gone brittle, so I had to get a new filter. So this time I went a little bit different. It's a bit cheaper, but it's actually open in the end. Hopefully it gets better airflow. I don't know, we'll see. The only thing I worry about with these ones is the metal gets hot, so I have to wonder if the hot metal would make the air hot. I don't know, put it on there. I'd rather have a filter than no filter, and hopefully the open end allows it to flow more maybe. Anyway, we'll see. But next thing on the job, we want to take these fuel injectors out. So you're going to need a deep 10mm to get those 4 bolts out. Undo the little plugs on the injectors, little wire a little bit there, you got to push in, unplug all them, pop them off. Okay, I got the bolts out and all the plugs off, but I have noticed there's a fair bit of dust and debris in around the base of the injectors. So what I might do before I pull it out, and it's probably a good idea, is compressed air or some sort of a blower. I've got my old Makita blower, and I'll blow all the crap out from around the base of those injectors. I can get in there and have a look. That shadow's no good, but you can sort of see in there there's a bit of crap in them around the bottom of the injectors there. You don't want none of that dropping down into your engine, so blow it all out, wash it off, whatever you need to do before you pull the injectors out. Right, everything's blown out, it's ready to pull them out. So just grab the front of the rail and just give it a bit of a pop like that. The back of the rail, a bit of a pop, and you'll find they'll pull straight out. Some will pull out from the top, some will pull out from the bottom. And yeah, you can go through and pull them all out. Get this one out here. Fuel injector out. As easy as that. Right, now we're in on the bench. I'll show you the little wiring system I've got to fire these injectors. Went down to J-Car, picked up a little 9-volt battery and a little 9-volt battery clip. Probably cost you a couple of dollars. Pick up some crocodile clips and a momentary switch, and just solder them together into this basic little circuit, and that's all you need to fire the injector so it opens, because you really need this solenoid to open so that the carby-clean can spray through it. So I'll just give you a demo real quick so you can hear the sound. Just crocodile clips on the terminals. You can hear it clicking. That's just the solenoid opening. So then the next thing you need is you need to be able to put the carby-clean down through there with a little bit of pressure. So what I've done is I've made this little bit of hose. It's got the spray nozzle off of the thing, off of the can in there, and it sprays down through the hose. So it's just a matter of taking the O-rings off. If you've got fingernails you can get them off. If not, you can just use a little poker. Get the O-rings off. Then I always like to spray it backwards first, so normally the fuel would come down through here, and there's a little screen inside here that stops any particles from actually going down to the nozzle. So I'd always want to go backwards first so I can spray anything out of that screen. So slide it on the end of the injector, tighten it up a little bit with the hose clamp. Test that it's nice and tight, should hold on. Then it's a bit fidgety, but it's worth it. Plug the nozzle in. Then your two terminals onto the injector plug. Make sure they don't touch, so it fires. Double check that it's going to fire. It's all good. Then it's just a matter of spraying a little bit of stuff through it. And look at that, one spray, look at how much stuff come out of there, it's just unbelievable. So just spray it, open it up and just spray the stuff through, then you can see all the stuff coming out of the injector. And you just keep going until there's nothing else coming out. Alright, after you've done it that way, take it all apart, undo the clamp, and then spray it back through the other way. So that way you clean both ways, and as you can see it cleans it out quite well. So I'll go through and clean all 8 of these injectors both ways and we'll be ready to put it back in. Right, I just thought I'd just swap it around and just show you it's spraying through forwards as well. You find that a lot less stuff comes out, but all this stuff here has come out of the previous injectors. I've done 4 now, so I'll just show you it coming through forward. Just sprays more like an injector. So you can see there, just sprays it out nice and cleans it all out. So yeah, I definitely think it cleans out the injectors quite well. Probably not as good as getting them professionally done, but obviously it still cleans them out quite well. Back out of the car here, ready to put it back in. The only other thing I do is I put a little bit of WD-40 or 556 or even just a bit of tiny smear of grease around the O-ring so that they slip into the manifold nice and the O-ring just seats nicely. Okay, fuel injectors are all back in, bolted down nice. I ended up having to put a new Optimax battery in it, or I didn't have to get Optimax, but I thought stuff it, I'll get a good battery. Nice new battery, new air cleaner, put some coolant in it, it was down just a tiny bit, checked the power steering fluid, it's all good, oil's all good, and we're just about ready to check for fuel leaks, so I'll get Jamie to hit the key and just surge the fuel system just to make sure there's no leaks, and then we'll try and start it up. It's probably been well over 6 months since it's ran. So yeah, turn the key and I'll just check. Yeah, it seems pretty good down here. I can't see anything spraying. That noise is the boost solenoid. It clicks when you turn the ignition on. I'll just check the back. Right, I go. New fuel filter. Oh yeah, you can hear the pump. Definitely no leaks there. Is it a neutral? Yep. Alright, let's try and hit it. Looks nice and clean. Chris washed it and polished the sides. That battery seems doughy, isn't it? Oh! Yeah, try it again. Come on, baby. Ooh, nearly. A bit grumpy. I just checked all the injector plugs and stuff like that, and hopefully nothing was loose, but it's been a fair while since it's been running, so I'll just have to give her a bit of a rev, maybe hold the revs up a bit and see if it'll clear out, and investigate what's going on with the old girl. But yeah, that E85 is pretty brutal on everything, so we'll just have to see how we go. Staying cold, oil pressure's great. So what we'll do is we'll just cut the video off and just let it fully warm up, and then we'll click back in. But I tell you what, that additive smells wicked. I don't know if I've told them about the additive. Right. I'll grab it. Hang on. What I put in there, the guys at Advance told me, is this VP Racing fuel additive is really good for E85 cars, help protect all the stuff. So it's like candy fragrance.
Smells like candy.
Oh, it smells so good. So yeah, I put about 40 mils in for 20 litres. So I put 80 something mils in, just splashed a bit in there. But I'll tell you what, I can smell it. It smells awesome.
Well, beautiful.
It smells good. We'll let this thing to have a full heat cycle, and yeah, we'll come back. Alrighty, she's pulled back in under the cover without the tray, because I have a feeling I have a lazy fuel pump just sitting in that corrosive E85 for too long. It's not pumping up like it used to. I can't see that aeroflow pump causing that much of a restriction, because I've noticed that the fuel pressure regulator gauge, which is a bit dark, but there's a gauge in there. I noticed before it was at 40 psi, and then it's normally set at 50, so already I can see that there's not enough fuel pressure there. So I cranked down on the fuel pressure reg until it came back up to 50, and then after time it's actually dropped back down again to 45. So that's just a sign that either there's a blockage somewhere in the fuel system. I'll take this fuel filter back off and see if it's already blocked up with stuff, or the fuel pump's going bad, which there is a high possibility. So what I'll do now is I'm actually going to take that fuel pump out, and we'll have a look, see what's going on with that fuel pump. Okay guys, we're back 2 weeks later. Actually took 2 weeks to get a new fuel pump. And in this time, I've actually decided I'm probably going to step up from the 460 Walbro up to the 525. And that hat, or the basket, fuel pump basket I've got, is now out. And I'll just show you what's going on here. You can see it comes out of the top of the pump and feeds into that right hand side. And this little bit I just got pushed on here, just a little return. If you actually have a look at the top, you can see my feed one is actually small 5/16 and the return is bigger. Well, that's what I was talking about before. I'm going to swap all that around. I'm going to feed through this one and then change all my pipes over. This was, all my lines over. This was the feed using the clip-on to the standard rail. That part in there is actually the same, but the barb on there will be 5/16, whereas the return one, same clip-on, but the barb's actually 3/8. So I'm going to change all that over so that I can make it as high flow to the standard fuel line as I can, especially through this filter, trying to keep it as high flow as I can. Now obviously these O-ring fittings will have to be changed to suit the 3/8. I've got them, new bigger ones. I've got the new 3/8 line, and then obviously I'm going to have to remake the return out of 5/16, make the return a little bit smaller. So Probably won't make a lot of difference, but I just thought, oh, while I'm there replacing all these lines, I may as well utilise as big as I can, try and reduce the restriction through there. So the next step is I'll take this apart. It's just actually a clamp that holds that in, but I'll take that apart. All this is in another video if you want to see how I built this. I'll take this pump out and we'll compare the 460 against the 525 side by side. Fuel pump's out of there, you can see the clamp just holds it up in there. The two inlets for the hat definitely going to move over to that larger one. It's slightly larger under the bottom too, so it's definitely going to increase flow. And there's your two fuel pumps next to each other. Exactly the same physical size. The part numbers are different, obviously. This one's got a part number in there that's different. I'll double check that. But other than that, it's the same. I've changed out put a new piece of hose in here too, just in case the E85 was perishing this one. And I get rid of all this plug assembly that goes in here and just change it out for those crimp to connectors, joiners. The reason why I use them instead of heat shrink is because heat shrink actually perishes in E85. I checked that before I first built this, and I also checked these to see if they would perish, and they don't. So crimp connectors there, they'll get crimped back up, and I'll throw this 525 in compared to the 460. You can certainly see how dirty that fuel pump sock is too. It'd be nice to get a new clean one in there. Quick finished product, 525's in, sender's back on. You can see I've bent the sender up so that it reads empty well above the bottom of the sock, if you know what I mean. That way you know the bottom of your fuel pump, if you go anywhere near empty, your bottom of your fuel pump's going to be covered in fuel. I'm not going to worry about putting the other little tube back on for the return. It can just spray down there. One less piece of rubber in there to perish in the 85, the better, I reckon. So yeah, she's ready to go back in. Alrighty, all back together. New 3/8 line. Your fuel filter flowing the right way. And the 5/16 back over for the return. So I flushed out the lines before I plugged it in, so I got a little bit of spillage there, but it's all good. Now I haven't touched the fuel regulator at all, because when I compensated when the 460 was running slow, and now like I haven't started it yet, but you'll just see Blair, just hit that key for me, man. And you'll see that the new 525, it's just far out, like, what's that? 140 PSI, which is just crazy. I had to get that 460 that was running slow to even hold 45 PSI, so this would run before. I had to wind that regulator all the way down to reduce the return. And I haven't touched that, and now I've got the new pump in there. It's all the way around to 140, so it just goes to show it's just the pump was running slow, and obviously I might have increased the flow a tiny bit, and I've got a bigger pump in there now, but yeah, that old pump was slow. So what I really need to do now is I need to back that off so it's not so high, start it up, and then reset that to about 50 PSI where the tune was originally set up at. So I'll gin around with that. It's just a matter of undoing the top nut there and then winding that Allen key back out. You can actually see on top there a little plus and minus sign. It's just still loose from when I did it before. But yeah, you undo this nut, Allen key in there, negative, wind it out, less pressure. So I'll get it close and we'll be able to try and start this up, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be sweet now. I'll be a lot happier now it's got the right fuel pressure and the right fuel flow. Alright, I just wound that out probably about 4 or 5 turns. And Blair, hit that key. I've got it set, I don't know, roughly 50 PSI there on the purge. Once the engine's running, you actually want to set that while the engine's running to sit just nice on about 50 PSI. So yeah, see if it'll start, Blair. We'll see if it'll go. Come on, baby. Oh, just try not to hold it on once it starts. Hey!
Oh, heaps happier. Heaps happier. I think that is actually holding close to 50 psi. It's hard to see, but yeah, it's holding pretty close to 50. Alright, let it run and actually get up the temperature. And it's just calmed right down. It's definitely running properly now, which is good. Good fuel pressure helps, that's for sure. Everything's still good. I adjusted that regulator, it's sitting bang on 50 psi now. That's good to go. Fans just kicked in. Definitely seems a lot happier, which is good. Alright guys, it's starting to get dark, but wheels and the tyres and wheels are on, tray's all on, and I've actually got the O2 sensor for the wideband back into the dump. It runs out so I can log the air fuel ratio through HP tuners. I gave it a bit of a clean, it's looking pretty good. Oh, I haven't even showed you that I've got new number plates for it as well. Ls1 Turner, well, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty cold here, you can see the condensation peeling out. But yeah, just letting it warm up. I'm going to go and do some logs, do some changes if I need to. There's the HP tuners open. Probably won't focus on that, it's pretty bright. Wideband just in case. It's idling perfectly 14.7 there at the moment, so that's great. There's a high chance that I won't have to touch the tune. Previously I spent a lot of time on it, but whenever you change the fuel system, you always probably want to check the tune just in case it produces fuel pressure at a different rate or something, makes it run lean or rich. So yeah, I'm gonna go and do some pulls. Righto guys, impossible to film when drive by myself, but I just thought I'd give you a quick snippet of the little bit of a log that I've got going on there. Now earlier it was actually lean. I don't know if it's weather's so cold and the air's so dense, but it was running a little bit lean, so all these numbers were high 11s. So 175 kPa, 5,600 RPM, it's about 11.4 air fuel ratio, which is absolutely bang on. So all these numbers are really good. I had to add 5% worth of fuel and it was good. Knock retard or spark retard, 0. We get no events of knock. And timing, I think 13 degrees, yeah, 13 degrees is all I got in it all up. It could probably take a whole heap more, but I'll be honest with you, I just rolled onto it, tried to roll into it at 11 pound at 100, and yeah, no deal. There's absolutely no way. I think in this cold weather, you know, maybe 7 or 8 pound would be it. It's all the tyre can hold. So I'll probably take it for a spin tomorrow when we can see, and yeah, but she's running good. The new fuel pump is sweet. Alright, that night, after I got the tune sorted out, I ended up going to pick up Jamie and we went for a bit of a run down the highway just to give it a bit of a run. I had Chris there with me in the VESS. So of course, I had to have a bit of a comparison with Chris, see what the acceleration difference is between the VESS with a bit of an exhaust on it, a bit of cold air intake or whatever he's got going on there. You'll see in the footage, no real chance there. And then we stumbled across, Subaru WRX, nice bunch of blokes that we met down there at the servo on the way. He had a bit of a work WRX, and the guy in a Mercedes, some CLK or AMG Mercedes thing. He thought it was pretty quick. He thought he could give the old work unit a bit of a hit. So we sorted them out. Three-way races, or three-way comparisons, which is pretty fun. And then we also stumbled across a twin turbo modified BMW, had tuner and exhaust and all this. So yeah, him as well, and also a couple of Golfs, which was pretty cool too. So I'll add all them clips in there. Chris's daughter actually got some clips out of Chris's VE, and then I had Jamie trying to get some clips out of the tonner, so probably not the best quality footage, but better than none, that's for sure. So I'll roll them in now and you can have a look.
Okay, I have to say one of those things in the videos that you can't notice is how much the old ute struggles for traction. A lot of that time, 7-8 pounds of boost is about it. Top of fourth gear, I'd hit the button on the steering wheel, bring in probably 11 pounds of boost, and it would stay pretty safe and not spin the tyres. Future episodes, I am going to have some solutions for the ute to fix the traction issues, because it's unbearable not being able to use it to its full potential. That'll probably do this episode, but one thing I will touch on is I know a lot of you guys have reached out to me and want me to get some other form of social media so you can communicate and ask questions and everything like that. So I've actually started up a Facebook page, Ladies Garage, so you can go there, show me your rides, ask me questions, whatever you can. It's probably going to be a lot easier to communicate with me like that rather than through the comment section on YouTube. That's not to say you don't have to comment on YouTube, go ahead. Also hit that like button, subscribe, hit the little bell if you want to get told when my new episodes are. So future episodes, possibly the tonner with its new mods that I have planned, or even possibly the daily tonner. I've got some mods coming up for that. It's a standard V6 Ecotech and very unbearable to drive. It's so doughy, so we might do a bit to that. That might be another series that I start up. So yeah, I think that'll do. Check out the new Facebook page and I'll chat to you on there, or I'll see you on the next video.